This is a short presentation on how to create a structured list query, which we'll use to insert into an Excel worksheet and create a structured list report. To begin with, we have a spreadsheet which has some filter information. In cell D4 we have customer number 3002. In cell D5 we've got a date range from July 07 to October 07. What we want to start with is positioning our cursor in cell D7. This is the home position for the report that we're going to create. We want to click the Structured List drop-down menu. That'll open up the Atlas task pane along the right-hand margin. We then want to choose the customer invoice journal table, which is already pre-selected at the top, as you see here. We want to select the filters tab, and within the filters tab we want to click the customer account, right click it, choose pick, navigate to cell D4 that contains the customer account we use for the filter. That's the criteria. Click OK. That pastes our cell reference into the criteria. You want to do the same thing with the date. Right click the date, choose pick, position the cursor on cell D5, click OK, and we'll build a cell reference into the criteria column for the date. Okay. We then want to go down to the step 3, the Style List tab, the Output tab, and take a look at the default fields that are presented to us. We've decided that we want to change the fields that are going to appear in the output, so if we click on the Report Columns node and then click the Add Remove Fields button at the top of the screen, we are able to see the default fields for the output. We have decided that we don't want to use invoice account and sales order in our output, so we deselect them. However, we have decided that we want to include some additional fields, and those fields are going to be, first of all, the sales subtotal amount in the accounting currency. Yes, that's the only field that we want to add. So the sales subtotal amount in accounting currency is down here. I'll select it. Click OK. It gets added into our query, shows up in the task pane. We then want to move the voucher field. We want to move it down until it is in the last in the list. So we will click it and move it down to the end. We then want to untick the report total field for invoice amount, and that will essentially remove the totaling of the invoice amount, and it will retain the totaling of the sum for the sales subtotal amount in the accounting currency. At this point we want to make sure we're in our correct home position, and we then want to click Insert. Okay, the result is that the query, the structured list query that we just built, is inserted into this worksheet within the body of the Excel table, which you could see here in the highlighted area. We're going to put the cursor within the body of the table, and notice when we do that we get the Table Tools tab, which shows up in the top of Excel. If we click on that and then pull down the table styles, we can mouse over whatever table style we wish, click on it. That will change the color of the table to a little more desirable color scheme. So what we have here now is a structured list report which was built based on a structured list query. Theoretically, we may have been asked to include an additional field into this report. That is easily done. Once my cursor is within the body of the table, for example right here, I can navigate to the Style List tab, choose the Report Columns Customer Invoice Journal node, click the Add Remove Fields button, expand the Available Fields node, scroll down until I find Invoicing Name, or if I don't like scrolling, I can type Invoicing, a partial search. I didn't spell it right. Invoicing. And I am now presented with the field I'm after, Invoicing Name, and click OK. That adds the field to my query. It shows up within the task pane at the bottom of the list. And if I choose then to add, to rearrange my fields, I can select the name field, which I just added, and move this particular field up below the customer account field. And what that does is it repositions this field so that the corresponding column will appear second, right after the customer account row. Results can be shown when I click Update. In order to update my query, I now have the invoicing name included here in column E right next to the customer account. Okay, so that is a simple presentation on how to create a structured list query and insert it into a worksheet to create a structured list report.